So it's the cheapest luxury you can have. Globally famous investor. When you zoom in, just like stay at that moment. User experience would be the moat, not the technology. Hi everyone, I'm Jing Kuang. I'm the founding partner of Y Plus Ventures. This is our new experiment of walk the talk. Let's go. Let's go. And we are at Stanford Dish. We think this is the best place in the world, in the whole VC and startup ecosystem.
Amazing. Yeah,
Grace is with me. Grace is a photographer and a video director. So we are on our small team together. And so we have the idea because one, we hope there could be more walk the talk in the VC and the startup ecosystem. Not just the talk, but do what you believe and show what you have done. And the other thing is, there are just two people passing by. The other thing is, we want to bring people outside of the four walls and outside of the studios, but then we do the conversations here with the nature because we believe the nature has some vibes. And so here we are.
This is amazing. It's like very natural talk, and
Yes.
I'm so excited to meet great founders and VCs. Not just like professional, like perfect faces, like showing for their personal journey.
Yeah, and we want to like climb, for example, climb the dish with the founders. There are up and downs. When we're climbing up, we want to talk about the ups, the highlights. But then when we go down, we want to talk about the low lights and the downs. So yeah, and also I think no matter how easy it's a good exercise, I'm already start sweating. So I think we need more of this hike and walk the talk.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
It would be amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. In background, it looks like Howard Tower.
Oh yes.
Yay.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you feeling in this hike, and also what brings you, like, reflects you thinking about your memories? It's like very natural and amazing time.
Yeah, I was born and raised in China. My hometown is Guizhou and it's full of mountains. So I still remember when I was a kid, we used to go like hiking and climbing the raw mountains. I figured out in a society that honors the excellence in academically, if I excel in academics, I can actually, nobody cares what I do. I can skip PE class if I am the number one of the whole school. So I kept being the number one from elementary school to all the way to high school. And that gives me a lot of thinking of excellence gives me leverage, and the leverage gives me agency, and the love agency, that is ultimate freedom I want to have. So I think I have that sitting when I was very little, and that gives me confidence, and that gives me to see how some part of it, I think that makes me like my personality and who I am when I grow up.
Wow. What do you like the most in your like free time? Maybe like watching movie or like reading a book?
Books is actually, in my opinion, is the most luxury thing in the world you can have, but with the lowest price point. So it's the cheapest luxury you can have, and with everything in the book, and you can basically to have that worldview and value system of the book from the author, and you can have the conversation. You can get into the author's world just by like couple bucks of money. So I think for me, I spend a lot of money buying books.
Wow, this is amazing.
My room, they have like full like stack of from like bottom to the rooftop, the whole bookshelf. So I bought a lot of books.
Wow, this is amazing. Could you introduce what are like sections? What do you interest the most?
Yeah, I think my favorite one would be the Man's Search
for Meaning.
For meaning. Man's Search for Meaning. It's such a thin book, but the story was very profound. I I feel like you can never imagine how, for example, how the man could survive in the World War II in the concentration camp, and how basically I think the most touching point for me was so I think there's a quote saying between your reaction and stimulus, between the stimulus and the reaction, there's always a room for reaction, and between that, the breadth of that lies in your freedom.
Whoa.
So no matter so no matter how you can, no matter what thing happened to you, you can actually choose your reaction, and the choice actually reflects the total freedom. So I think that was like, touched me a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
And how is your like day in your life, like when you're using like AI, how it looks like, what's on your top?
ChatGPT is super helpful. I think it's a productivity booster for a lot of people, but for me, I think this is just the beginning of the whole AI era. Because right now, if you look at like how the dominant startups are doing for our consumers in day life, I think 50% will be chatbots. ChatGPT is one of them, and then maybe 30% would be the productivity tools. So, however, we as consumers, how do you live? How do you learn? How do you shop? How do you do social? And those are like all wide space. So I think as professionally, I invest in consumer AI applications. So I feel like super excited about where the world could go on. I think AI will fundamentally change how we as consumers will do our daily life. But it's still white space. So there's an infinite possibility there. So I'm super interested in that as well.
Let's go back to downside.
Yes.
What competitive advantages would be the good for, especially in AI?
I think for consumer AI applications, I think the user experience would be the moat, not the technology. And how can you like grasp the consumer insights and turn that insights into user experience, and then use a fast iteration to get to the point of the growth. And then this would be like a flywheel. In terms of like user experience, actually there are a lot of playbooks you can learn from the East side of the world. I believe East have a lot of velocity because of, for example, the cheap labor and plus the mass market. So if you look at the last decade, I think, for example, China is super good at consumer user experience and how to grasp that insight and cook that formula into consumer experience, and then use this user experience to try to like fast iterate, and then they found the growth engine and to just like do round and round like that. For US, the labor cost is so high so that you can never be that detailed to iterate the consumer user experience in a very tiny detail. So the perfection of that or flawless execution would be hard. However, AI, I think the two things about AI, one is automation, one is personalization. So I think with that, actually US could have the breakthrough in consumer AI applications. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And so that's why we are more leaning in to see like the Bay Area, especially Bay Area, and especially Stanford. I believe Stanford would be the innovation center, and Stanford has a lot of possibilities. Found advisor Ilya Straplav, who is the go-to VCP professor at Stanford, figured out Stanford founders is 50% more likely to become an unicorn founder.
Wow, this is amazing.
So probability is super high if you are Stanford founder or like any of the founders are in the Stanford ecosystem. We're thinking like bullish on Stanford ecosystem. Stanford is our launchpad, and we want to like tap into this infinite consumer AI market with our East Velocity playbooks. So yeah.
Okay, we are come to downside. So It's the big question. Could you share about your downside of experiences with us?
Being the first generation immigrant and living here in the US could have facing a lot of challenge. And me as a working mom of 2 kids also be challenges every day. I think there is a phase where you are so naive, you actually are fearless. Protect that naiveness in yourself, and then you will become more like fearless. Then later in life, you will become more sophisticated or like mature. And then at that time, actually, I think that's where the fear comes. The fear comes actually because you become more mature, not because you are like know nothing. More about having the awareness of or celebration of you are actually mature, so you actually can see those are challenges. So I think that's a good thing. How to solve those? I use like zoom in and zoom out analogy a lot. When you feel like you have a challenge, actually maybe sometimes you are too zoomed in. You are like living that challenge or difficulty and you didn't see the big picture. So I would just zoom out and see that. And for example, if you look at those whole view here, right? This is like, you feel, okay, our challenges is such a small part, and where there's a nature, there's everything, the skies are still blue, you'll get a lot of like, reflection there, and you'll have a lot of optimism there. Then try to zoom in again, but when you zoom in, just like stay at that moment, be in that moment. So for example, if you like want to do a PowerPoint or write an essay, just think about what's the next word I want to write for that essay. So just very zoom into the next step instead of worrying of what could become or what's the consequences. So zoom in and zoom out. A lot of upside and hope, especially when we do, for example, a gathering the allies together with our fund. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of laughter, and there's a lot of belief. For example, we believe there should be a modern venture capital firm. Modern venture capital firm should be more showing the honesty, showing authenticity, and using more modern methodologies and approaches to, for example, from the deal discovery to all the way to partnership with founders. This should be, we're in 2025. There are a lot of good new ways we could change the narrative of how people see venture capitalists. I think right now a lot of people, or the founders even, a lot of founders see we as on the other side of the table. However, if you want to be partnered with that VC, you should probably be really good partners. Just get to know each other the personal level, professional level. We're here to build the next generation venture capital fund, and starting with consumer AI, starting with this kind of like our experimental video chat, and so I think there is a lot of vibes or authenticity and honesty and transparency you can see from what we're trying to do, and it's just a start. But with the allies, with our North Star, I think we can get there, and it should be a venture capital fund like us exist in the universe.
This is amazing. This is so exciting question. Imagining yourself in 10 years later, you watch this video, what would you say yourself?
Wow, so I probably say, this is how this globally famous investor, Jing Kuang, started her journey of becoming a globally famous investor.
Oh, yes. 10 years.
Yes. She's like definitely worth investing. Investing her. Investing in Jing.
And one last question would be, if you're asking next guest speaker, and what question would you want to ask?
Oh, okay. So I will go from our the question that close to heart, especially just what matters to most.
Amazing.
Next
so
one.
Excited. Next one.
Yes, next one. Get ready.
Yes. Super.
What's the talk? Okay.
This is amazing.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, goodbye.